What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. Today we're doing a little bit of a weird one. We have Malice on the left side going up against Ryzo on the right side, but the decks are reversed. We actually have Marincess on the left side, the OG Malice deck, very much the same, kind of make a Towers monster, which can do different stuff. Your Meta Logic is going to be essentially your wave. And then on the right side here, we have Spright, the OG Ryzo deck, very much different, but the exact same. We kind of want to turbo out those XYZs and have the exact same sound of stuff. You know, they do summon themselves out essentially for free, locking yourselves into level 2s or level 4s. We're going to be seeing a die roll here with Sprite's going to end up taking the win, it looks like here, and dive on into game 1. Before we dive on in too deep, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Help us channel a lot. We're actually going to see Marincess being forced to go first, winning the die roll, I should say, most likely here, and being made to go first. The seeing the dice is going to be kind of hard, and we're going to go for Desires. We do Ash that. They set one card, and they just pass turn on this, not looking the greatest there, but maybe you'll see a bunch of hand traps in the hand, kind of overplay. We're going to be seeing a normal summon of a Mirror Mage on the Sprite side. This is going to be essentially like a normal summoning a node. Not a good card, but still a card that can kind of play through it and give us the bodies. Then we're going to go up into a red being summoned out. And this is going to now allow us to go up either into an XYZ or a Link monster. Going up to a Sprint, we can then Chain Link 1 Sprint, Chain Link 2 Mirror Mage here, allowing us to kind of chain block and then being able to kind of play through it. And we are going to choose to Veiler this, though. I mean, that's pretty good to Veiler the Sprint, which is going to essentially allow us to kind of stop here. But we actually don't activate Mirror Mage because we have the effect in the hand. We activate now Talents to rip a card, but they have double Ash Blossoms here. So we're going to be kind of forced to rip one of them. We're then going to activate the effect of the spell that we had in the hand. If we did not, we would have searched it, which can then bring back out the Mirror Mage. And we can now overlay up into a Gigantic, but the chances of this getting Ash are going to be pretty high. I mean, yeah, maybe there's a world where we go for Gigantic first, and then we just Talents draw 2, but I don't really know. I feel like Talenting is pretty nice. We're going to go for a Gigantic here, and then we're going to activate the effect, and we are going to opt to Ash that there. It does detach for effect, so we unfortunately are going to keep that material. Then we should deal some 32 damage, which is pretty big, but then you get the normal summon out a copy of Blue Tang, which is going to be full combo if you guys do not know. So we're going to be seeing the Marincess going to be then able to dump a copy of the Seahorse, which is going to be a very nice monster. And the Ryzo deck, or I should say the Marincess deck and the Malice deck have lots of similarity, where you're going to start Link climbing, which is essentially always going to give you another body, and then they just kind of like, you know, bring themselves back out. Now, Malice monsters have the Banish Zone. Now, Marincess has the Graveyard. So, unfortunately, into Shifter, it's not going to be that good, but essentially almost identical decks in the way that they just continuously bring themselves out. So, we're going to be seeing the Sea Angel search for a dive, and then we get to scoop it up here because we know the game's going to be over. We have nothing else to kind of continue. And, yeah, they're going to be able to go up into the I think it's called not Sea Angel, the one that everyone plays, the Coral, and then Coral's going to search for the trap card. I guess Coral's not the one I'm talking about. Coral's Link 3, but the Link 2, the Sea Anemone or whatever, that adds back the water and then summons one out. We're essentially going to get cooked here is what I'm trying to tell you. They're going to link up into a monster that is unaffected, which is going to be called Bubble Reef, attacking us a bunch, and we're not going to be able to win. So we end up admitting defeat here, trying to save some time, because Marincess does take a bit when you get to a grind game, and Spright, fortunately, does not have that many one-card starters. You know, we have Starter itself, which they have a face-down card, which is going to be an Imperm there, can stop us. They have the Wave, and like nothing we're really going to be able to summon out is going to be that impactful into like a Wave. So we just admit defeat there, trying to speed up the process, because we are going to get into a grind game with Marincess, which happens quite frequently there. So moving on to game 2, we are going to be able to finally go first. And Marincess does have a lot of hand traps in their deck, like we saw there, them kind of bricking on those after we Ash our Desires, and they end up banishing a whole bunch of engine cards as well. So not the greatest for them. Now, I definitely think Spright is not the greatest in this format. I think that you obviously can play Spright if you want a budget option. It is just essentially a budget Ryzo. Now, Ryzo is a little bit of a better investment, though. I wouldn't necessarily pick up Spright, but this is a little bit of an older duel as well. But it still is very, very reliable. You know, I think that this duel was probably like 2 weeks old now. But the deck still hasn't changed. And you can't play the Fiend stuff just like you can play with the Rizal deck. I don't think it necessarily improves the deck at all, but it's a whole different deck in Spright. Diving on in, we are going to be seeing us now being able to go first. And we do have a Shifter in our hand, which does cook Marincess quite a bit here. We're going to start off with a normal summon of a Beaver. And that's going to allow us to summon out an Angler from the deck. And we do reveal the Shifter, or no? Maybe it's a blue. We're going to go for the Angler now. And we then summon out a blue. So it might have been a blue and not a Shifter after all. We're going to see the blue effect get hit with Ash Blossom. We then go up into a Jet, and Jet's going to activate the effect. And they are going to Veiler the Jet. And we have an XYZ, so it looks like to me that we actually have the Shifter in the hand here. And so we actually are going to detach the Beaver. So no Shifter. Summon out a Swap Frog. Swap Frog is going to activate the effect, bouncing it back. And then we're going to activate the effect, sending the Angler, or sending the Mirror Mage for Swap Frog, which then Mirror Mage is going to activate the effect, allowing us to add the spell. We're going to activate the spell, which can then let us summon back out the Mirror Mage. Then we can go for a Totally Awesome here and just pass turn on this. But we have the opportunity to Link Summon here as well. Are we trying to we ate 2 hand traps and still made it Totally Awesome, so it's not horrible. We're going to Link Summon up into an IP and just pass turn there. We're going to be seeing the Toad in the standby phase summon out a Swap Frog here, which is going to be just a material for the IP. And then we can always add back the Beaver in the graveyard once the Totally Awesome hits the graveyard as well. So we're going to see the Piscalis being normal summoned here. And this is going to be one of their normal summons. Now, we could actually just go up into an SP, banishing the Piscalis, make it so I'm kind of forced to. And they activate the effect. We do take the Piscalis here, and then we're going to activate the effect of Swap Frog, adding back that Beaver. Or Totally Awesome here, adding back that Beaver there. And they admit defeat, realizing the game's going to be kind of lost. And we end up taking it here in game 2 pretty quickly. Okay, so there was another blue in the hand, and instead of a copy of a Shifter. I was going to say, with Shifter and Mirror Mage in hand, there might be a way where you don't actually Shifter yourself. But at the same time, I feel like Shifter is just an auto win against the Marincess deck. And you can still go for the you can still go for a good end board with a monster to get on the field. You won't have the copy of Toad, but at the same time, Toad can be a good follow-up card, especially when they normal summon a Mirror Mage with a blue in their hand. If we replace one blue with a Shifter, I definitely think that could have been, if it was a Shifter, could have been played differently, where we would have just activated Shifter still. But moving on to game 3, we are going to be seeing the Marincess going to go first here. If we don't find a way to get rid of that monster on the field at the start, it might just snowball into a kind of crazy combo, which is kind of scary, honestly. I don't think that Spright has the ability, unless they open up extremely broken, to actually beat a full Marincess board paired along one hand trap. Now, having the spell and trap negate for starter, having the wave for a monster negate, you are actually in a very good position here. And we're not playing Fenrir in this build, so not being able to put that pressure by summoning itself out immediately is going to be pretty rough. Now, you are playing the Bistils once again. Now, in this matchup, it's not going to be the greatest, but the Bistils are back in the main deck if you are playing the Spright cards. But moving on to game 3, we are going to be seeing Marincess going first, and can they set up that pretty solid board? We're going to be seeing a normal summon of a Blue Tang. Now, we don't see a Shifter being dropped, but they have the Call in the Grave in the hand anyways here. So that would have prevented that Shifter regardless. We're going to then go up into these. We're going to dump, of course, the Seahorse. We're going to then go up into the Blue Slug. We're going to be seeing Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. The Blue Tang adding us a card that we end up hitting on the top of the deck. Kind of like a Purely effect, which is pretty nice. We're going to see the Seahorse summoning itself out. And then we're going to link up into a Sea Angel here, which is going to activate the effect, letting us search. And we do chain Ash to this here. Now, this is going to let us stop the search for either the field spell or the dive here. And now if they already have the field spell, which is a 1 of, it's like, okay, well then you're not going to have dive. Now they do chain Call with the Grave on this, banishing the Ash Blossom, which means shows you how important that field spell is. Essentially giving them a spell enchantment negate as well as a boost on their monster. We're going to see them make here the Anemone, and then we're going to go up and then summon back out the Angel. We're going to link up into the Coral here, which gets us the additional search as well as the Anemone, adding back a card here, and then we get to discard the same card off of the Coral, letting us search for the searchable Imperm that makes our monsters unaffected. Pretty crazy. And then we're going to go for the Spring Girl, banishing the Angel, or Slug here, summoning herself out. And we then link away for the Argonaut, and then we're going to be seeing the Coral going to activate the effect as well as the field spell, going to be placing the Angel as well as the Coral, and we're dumping one from the deck, which is going to be the Spring Girl effect, dumping just a Veiler there, not dealing any burn damage, and they have an Ash in the hand as well here. And so we're going to just draw for turn, and we have to play through a Spell and Trap Negate, a Wave, and a unknown Ash Blossom. We're going to go Harpy's Feather Duster, which is going to be pretty good. Essentially going to be forcing the Spell and Trap Negate out here, which we're then going to be seeing the Coral summoning herself out by negating that Harpy's Feather Duster. And then when it hits a graveyard, we're going to add back a card. But we do go Talents here, and we are going to be able to take the Argonaut, which is going to turn down that Wave, because they no longer control a Link 3 monster here. So that's going to be pretty nice for us. The Talents coming in clutch here, which can now leave us to normal summon a Beaver, activating the effect, letting us summon from the deck. We do chain Bell to this because it does summon from the graveyard. So we actually have to play through Bell and Ash, as well as Spell and Trap Negate. But we don't have to play through that copy of the Wave anymore. So we're going to see a Carrot being summoned itself out, and then we can go up for a Sprint. Sprint's going to dump from the deck, dumping the copy of Angler, and we are going to activate the Angler here, and we should Ash this, but we opt to not for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. We're going to summon out now double Beavers, and we can then go up into a Gigantic. Gigantic will be able to activate the effect, and we don't Ash this either. We summon out Swap Frog. Swap Frog is going to dump the Mirror Mage. Mirror Mage is then going to dump or add us this spell. And I think here they realize that they messed up by not activating the Ash on the Sprint. I mean, we can link up after. Sprint can't be used as link material, so I suppose you definitely just Ash the Sprint there, but we're going to be seeing an overlay for a Totally Awesome here, and we could have activated the effect of Swap Frog, bouncing back that Beaver, so that we had a good normal summon during the next turn, but it's not going to be that much of a difference. We can just go Battle Phase Attack, and then even go up into the SP banish the field spell here, and kind of just end up attacking here overall. But we actually have the effect of Argonaut bouncing back that that Beaver here to send the Coral back to the extra deck. And then we can go for a starter to summon out the Blue. Blue's going to activate the effect, allowing us now search for a Jet. Jet can summon itself out, and then we do take the 11, and then we're going to be just activating the Jet effect here, searching for the Trap card, I believe. Or searching for the starter here, and they ask what we know in hand, which is going to be a Dive, but we essentially kind of have just game. Yeah, this is more than enough for game. So we're going to be seeing the Marincess player end up admitting defeat, unfortunately, because we started talking about what we could have played through, and they have the Ash. It's just Talents taking is going to be just a little bit too much. Unfortunately, Talents is getting able to cook, and we're explaining here why you play Talents and why I'm playing Spright right now, but yeah, explaining I could have gone up from the Silhouette Rabbit and stuff like that, but if I wouldn't have Talents that Argonaut, we would have definitely lost that game at all. But I definitely I'm saying you should have Ashed the Sprint, because if he's like, well, if you had the starter, which you had, it wouldn't have made a difference, but it still would have been really good because like we wouldn't have been able to summon out that beaver or double beavers, which can go up into the copy of Gigantic and stuff like that. Like obviously the starter up into blue into Jets, and then Jet search for the trap card, and then being able to go up into a totally awesome would have hurt as well. But unfortunately, there was just really no good spot for Ash with the hand that we had and the starter in the hand. But regardless, hope you're watching the video. You know, we see Spright and taking the win there. Definitely coming in clutch with that talents there, ripping the Argonaut from the field, removing one of those hand traps, and having no really good moment for that copy of Ash Blossom. Now, we do see Bell in the deck, which I want to talk about. Bell is actually kind of improving in the format. Definitely a good card. You know, it's good against the Malice deck as well as good against Ryziel here, hitting some random of the cards, the Ryziel cards there, but hitting the Fiends with Engine quite a bit. You know, making sure that you just don't get that Engraver effect coming back out, or the Lacrima in the second turn can be quite huge. Regardless, hope you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, more content like this. Remember to stay safe. Peace.